Hello, welcome to Dun Drills Podcast. I'm your host, Justin. So today I'm going to be reviewing the Marvel Cinematic movie, Shang Chi, and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which is a 2020 action adventure movie. It's 2 hours and 12 minutes, directed by Destin. Is that Dustin or Destin? I don't know. Destin Daniel Cretton. Music by Joel P. West, starring Simu Liu as Shang-Chi, Awkwafina as Katie, Tony Yeoung as Chu Wai, as also known as the Mandarin, Fala Chen as Leiko Wu. Okay, that's not how to pronounce it. Whatever. Michelle Yeoh as Zhang Yan and Florin Montiano as Razor Fist, and also, I'm spoiling this, Ben Kingsley is in the movie and he's probably the best part of the film. So before I get into my review, I should talk about something. I have an important update for tomorrow, right, or today, depending on when I upload this, because it's already like almost 11 p.m. I just got back. I got home at like around 10ish, and I walked my dog, and now I'm recording this movie. Fuck, dude. Like, I was at the movie theater for almost 3 hours. So, tomorrow, for my fans or friends, I'm going to have a comic book haul tomorrow. And it's going to be the last one. Until, for who knows how long, right? Because I got an important update for the channel. And I'm going to talk about that in that comic book haul. Alright, so now onward with the movie. So at first, I was hesitant to watch this movie because it looked like to me and to a lot of other people that this was just a movie that was marketed and shilling for the Chinese market, and ironically they end up getting banned in China, right? Which I thought was funny. And then, like, the whole, thing with Snake Eyes happened, and then I told people I'd rather watch this than Snake Eyes, which was only half the truth. I actually had no intention of watching this movie, especially because the actor, Simu Liu, said some really dumb things online, saying he's the first, Hollywood Asian, superstar or whatever, the dumb shit he said. Right, so I'm like, first off, that really annoyed me as somebody who's a fan of Jet Li and Jackie Chan. Maybe Generation Z didn't grow up with Asian superstars, right? But in my generation, we had Jackie Chan, we had Jet Li, and you can argue that I forget the guy's name, but the Korean actor from Snake Eyes and whatever, not Snake Eyes, from G.I. Joe 1 and 2, who's been in Western movies, and that one movie, The Devil, I Saw the Devil. He's probably, you can argue he was the Asian superstar of the Zoomer generation, right? But whatever, right? So that really pissed me off. But besides from that, we gotta talk about the movie, right? So the movie is based off a Marvel comic book from the 70s. I forget what it was called. It's the Kung Fu, Heroes of Kung Fu, Masters of Kung Fu. That was what the comic book was called. Starring Shang Chi, who's the son of the Mandarin, who is normally an Iron Man villain. Here he's he's the villain for Shang-Chi, which he's also his father. So he's this warlord who got in contact with this weapon from space that showed up in mainland China in a meteor crater or whatever. He found it, and it gave him awesome powers. It gave him awesome powers and eternal life, so he becomes a warlord for 1,000 years. Eventually, he gets bored, decides to look for this mystical land called Tylo, finds falls in love with the woman that's guarding it, and that's the mother of Shang-Chi and his sister. She dies, right? She dies, and like Tony Young's character, the Mandarin, becomes evil again, and trains his son to be an assassin. Ignores his daughter, and they both run away when they're teenagers, right? So, like 10 years later or whatever, he's supposed to be. Here's one of my problems with this movie. Simu Liu is supposed to be. He was born in 1996. He's supposed to be 24 in the movie. He's like 32. I thought he was older, but apparently he's only 32, right? And it's like, dude, like this guy is supposed to be younger than my youngest sibling, and it's like this dude looks like he's in his 30s, right? So he's basically a valet, right, with his best friend Awkwafina, who is super annoying in the movie. Plays his like sidekick, right? Who's supposed to be like comedic relief. She is super annoying in the movie. She's worse than Jar Jar Binks in The Phantom Menace, man. Oh my god. Which they finally give her. She doesn't know how to fight. She doesn't even know how to speak Chinese, really. They gave her like a bow and arrow, and she basically becomes Hawkeye at the end of the film, which is like, what the fuck, right? So like, yeah, what ends up happening is they're taking the bus. Him and his friend taking the bus to work when they run into Razor Fist, who only has one bladed fist. In the comic books, he doesn't have both. He lost both his hands and has two blades for hands. Here he just has one. And him and his henchmen try to like take Shang-Chi's pendant, which, you know, his dad needs to go to find the mystical land. He eventually defeats the henchmen on the bus, but loses the pendant. Goes to warn his sister, hey, they're coming to look for, Dad's coming to get you. Which they go to Macau, right? Which Macau looks great in the film. That's where you see the fight club, where you get to see Wong versus Abomination, and the Abomination looks more comic accurate, right? Which is cool. He doesn't even talk though, so I don't even think they got like what's his name? Is it Tim Roth who played him in the original movie that he was in? I can't remember, but like, yeah, I think it was Tim Roth. They didn't even get. He didn't even voice him, probably, right? So like, if you're like an Incredible Hulk fan, Abomination's barely in the movie, right? Yeah. So yeah, so like they get ambushed at the club, right? They get captured. The Mandarin shows up, takes them back to their base, explains the whole plot of Iron Man 3, which was fucking awesome, right? And he even kidnapped the guy who impersonated him, which is Ben Kingsley's character named Trevor, who's an actor from Liverpool, who has this mystical creature called Morris, which looks like basically a six-legged tiger cub or like bear cub with like these like wings but no head, which is supposed to be like some kind of Chinese mystical creature called Morris. They escape with Morris and go to the mystical land, encounter Michelle Yeoh, right? Which Mandarin wants to go to the mystical land because he believes his wife is kept behind this black gate, which has this fucking monster behind it. These soul-eating monsters, right? And like, you know, Shang-Chi teams up with Michelle Yeoh, and the village to fight the Mandarin and his army. And there's this huge epic fight with dragons, monsters, soul-eating gargoyles, right? you have a great fight with Shang-Chi and Mandarin with the 10 rings. Eventually, Shang-Chi gets the 10 rings and uses it to defeat the big bad monster, right? And then, like, you know, he joins the Avengers at the end of the movie. So, like, I did miss out some stuff. So my problems with the movie. First off, I thought the costumes were lame. There's this blue assassin character who was the trainer of Shang-Chi. The entire time you're watching the movie, you're expecting to see, like, you know, flashbacks or something or a reveal on who that character was, right? Because in the trailer they made a big deal of that character. You never find out who that character was, right? Which that pissed me off. That character dies, right? Second thing, Shang-Chi has a poster of Kung Fu Hustle on his wall, and one of the stars of Kung Fu Hustle, which we reviewed on his channel, has a role in the movie. Yuan Bo, who was one of the defenders of the village at the Black Gate, right? So I thought that was kind of retarded to have that one of the actors from one of the movies that was on his wall in the movie. I thought that was breaking the fourth wall there, especially if you're a fan of Kung Fu Hustle, which I am, right? Second, I already mentioned the fact that Awkwafina was annoying. Like, also the costumes I thought weren't great. Like, Shang-Chi, even after he gets his costume, he's still wearing his, like, sneakers, which I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this, man? Oh my god. And, like, the whole thing where he was surviving the attacks from the 10 rings, even though you saw how much damage it could do, they explained away that, you know, he had, like, dragon scale armor. That shirt, that red shirt he's wearing is dragon scale armor, and that's how he survived, right? Which I still thought dumb. I also thought that Mandarin probably shouldn't. Spoiler alert: Mandarin shouldn't have gone killed, but they killed him. Which he was pretty. He was a pretty cool villain, man. And he was originally an Iron Man character. So it's like, man, you're gonna kill off the Iron Man, like, villain in, like, a Shang-Chi movie? What the fuck, dude? That sucked, right? And the whole thing where, like, this guy is supposed to be this huge big deal, but, like, the Avengers never heard of this guy. Like, come on, that was kind of dumb, right? Yeah. And if people want to know why, you know, they did a fake out, and then they eventually did bring the Mandarin into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Apparently, the whole thing with Ben Kingsley playing the Mandarin, that was apparently Shane Black, the director of, like, Iron Man 3, throwing shade at the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight movies for how they handled Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul, however you pronounce his name. I don't know if that's true. That's just something I hear people say, right? Yeah. And also, what else? Oh, I thought the music in the movie sucked, right? There was no memorable songs or, like, themes. Right, and again, I didn't think that Simu Liu had the right look for somebody who's supposed to be a kung fu artist, because most kung fu artists, guys, are lean, right? Skinny and lean with tight muscles. This guy looks like an MMA fighter, dude. He's too big to play, like, you know, he's too big to play, like, you know, a kung fu guy. Also, I thought the movie was lacking star power. Besides from Tony Yeung and Michelle Yeoh and Ben Kingsley, hardly any famous actors in this movie, right? Unless you consider Benedict Wong a famous actor, right? Which, before the Marvel movies, he was like a TV actor, so I don't, honestly. Yeah. So, first, okay, let's get to like the good things about the movie. As somebody who is a fan of wuxia, which is Chinese fantasy, I really liked. I really enjoyed the Chinese like mystical creatures in Tai Lo. I thought that was good. I thought that was cool. The action scenes themselves were pretty cool, well choreographed and well shot and everything, right? Uh, I'm trying to think of other good things about the film. I don't really, and I thought some of the female characters, there was like some feminist stuff in the movie where like the female characters were overshadowing the main character until the end of the film. And here's the thing: why is Katie an Avenger now? That is so dumb. She has no powers, right? She doesn't even know kung fu. Oh my! It's so dumb, right? It's so dumb. Yeah. So like overall, I'm just giving this movie. I would say it's a 6 out of 10, maybe a 6.5 out of best. But like I honestly, dude, if I wasn't dragged along to see the movie, I would have waited till like it was on streaming or whatever. And the fact that this movie can't even sell their own toys tells you that I am right about the weak costumes and the bad casting. Because like even if kids aren't begging their parents to buy these toys, then like okay, the toys probably suck. They probably should have done like focus groups. Hey kids, would you buy these really bad design toys? Which that's the thing, man. Because if you look at the original Shang Chi, he had a very cool look, but Liu Kang, they stole that look for Liu Kang in the Mortal Kombat movie, Mortal Kombat games and stuff. So it's like Marvel like felt like that we can't use that look anymore. the long hair with the red bandana. So like they gave him like let's give him like no sleeves and like a red shirt. It's like what the fuck. So he looks dumb, honestly, dude. So yeah, 6 out of 10. My next movie review is going to be Batman and Robin for Batman Month. Alright, bye.